Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes on this Wednesday. And once again, we've got a stalled cold front. A stalled front. The front was a cold front earlier, but now it's become stationary along the south shore of Long Island, crossing central New Jersey down into southern Pennsylvania. To the south of that front, it is very warm and humid, and there are some thunderstorms around. To the north of the front, it's we've seen improving weather conditions this afternoon, and the dew points are inching lower, and I do mean inching lower. It's a lot better than dew points being in the 70s. They have settled back into the middle 60s, which your body's used to that humidity by now. Even a drop to the mid 60s, which normally would be somewhat uncomfortable, actually feels a bit better. And when we look at the satellite loop this evening, seeing just some stray thunderstorms here and there, nothing organized at the moment. Most of the thunderstorm activity is in southeastern Virginia and eastern North Carolina, where we're seeing areas of severe weather there. But as we look at the Northeast, it's actually nice and sunny across upstate New York and into New England. The skies were cloudy earlier down in southern New England and on Long Island and in New Jersey, but we've broken out into some sunshine, just still some stray clouds left over. And you see where the lightning strikes are going on here on the satellite in southeast Virginia and in eastern North Carolina. And we'll take a look at the radar. There are a couple of stray thunderstorms showing up in northern Maryland, just on the north part of Chesapeake Bay, that are moving eastward. Those might get into southern New Jersey, but it's a small area, so the chances are most folks won't see it. But as we know in these situations, given everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks, even a stray thunderstorm could cause some localized flash flooding. So you just want to be aware of that. And that would be just for South Jersey. There's really nothing much to worry about on the radar to the north. The heavier thunderstorms in North Carolina, there's an area of rain moving through the southern Appalachians into northern Georgia and northern Alabama. What's left over of some stronger thunderstorms from earlier today. You see flash flooding in southern Illinois and western Kentucky. Flash flood warnings up there. And we're seeing some development here in parts of the plains. The Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk there. From the central plains northeastward up into Wisconsin and Minnesota, there's a slight risk area that is indicated for southern Virginia and eastern North Carolina. There is actually, at least as of 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we do still have a working tornado watch up for eastern North Carolina and southern Virginia from that little cluster of thunderstorms that is moving on through. Now, for tomorrow, the risk areas are Michigan to western New York, south down into Kentucky, so in the Ohio Valley, also in southern North Carolina and northern South Carolina. And we're seeing in the southern plains enhanced risk of severe weather. Southeastern Colorado, we're getting into the central plains too. Enhanced risk there, and in southeastern Kansas and on the Oklahoma Panhandle, there's a 2% tornado risk there and a 2% tornado risk for the area of risk in the Ohio Valley and down into parts of the southeast. Now, day 3, which is for Friday, a small area of marginal risk is being indicated for southeastern Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey, the eastern half of Maryland, Delaware, parts of the Delmarva Peninsula, and to a small portion of northeastern Virginia. Marginal from South Carolina west across the Gulf states into Arkansas and Oklahoma, and marginal up the western plains. And as far as rainfall is concerned, looking at about a half to 3/4 of an inch over the next 7 days. And the Thursday night, Friday weather front that is coming on through is the bulk, if not all of that moisture that is being indicated. Again, it's convective. It could wind up being double that in any one thunderstorm that sits over an area for a period of time. Also along the Carolinas down to the Gulf Coast, anywhere from a half inch to as much as an inch and a half. Again, convective there too, so you can double it. And in the western plains, where we see 3/4 of an inch to as much as an inch and a half. WPC is just covering for the possibility that a stray thunderstorm in South Jersey tonight and parts of Delaware and Maryland might produce some localized flash flooding. The moderate risk, southern Illinois into northern Tennessee, and also a slight risk in eastern North Carolina. If we move on to tomorrow, we're pushing the marginal risk into western New Jersey, 5 to 15% chance, and the areas of slight risk that you see that go back to the plains will be 15 to 40%. Day 3, they have extended the marginal risk for flash flooding down to the Delmarva Peninsula and covering from there northward into upstate New York and northwestern New England. There's a slight risk up in northeastern New York and in northwestern Vermont. So that is our one player left to get through before we actually see some low humidity. And that's coming for the weekend. And it's also going to be a dry weekend, which is something we haven't seen in a while. So tonight, not much happens. Tomorrow, it'll be a warm day. The humidity will start to come up. Tomorrow night, as the front approaches, we'll be watching maybe for some showers and thunderstorms overnight. And then perhaps during the afternoon, we could see some showers and thunderstorms pop up as the front makes its final push and an upper trough moves on through. And this could be a catalyst for severe weather. Don't be surprised if that marginal risk area gets pushed northward. The front goes by, and then over the weekend, we have a relatively dry air mass, maybe some leftover showers in northern New England or a thunderstorm, but otherwise, eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England will be dry. Dew points will be dropping down to the upper 50s and low 60s for Saturday and Sunday, with temperatures topping out both those days in the low to mid 80s. So it should be a nice weekend. The Joe and Joe Weather Show is tonight at 7:35 p.m. We'll cover all this, let you know what's going on with Calvin as it is now past south of the Big Island of Hawaii and weakening. And we'll talk about other things, including the long range. That's tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time.